Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Black Eel Podcast with your hosts, Scott and Mike. Today's episode is jam packed once again. We're back at the regularly jam packed episodes.
Only
We're
for
gonna,
one week.
we're going to be talking about two episodes every week.
well, excuse me. So I was going more along the lines of because this week we have 4
Oh,
episodes.
that's fair. No, you know
Next
what?
week we're
That's fair.
back down to 2. Technically, we're up to 3 because we have Craven next weekend.
Yes. And then after that, it's what
2.
if?
But that's at the end of December, so we have a few weeks.
Hold
It
on.
yeah. Well, okay.
No,
We will have one bye week.
no, we won't. We have two episodes of What If because it starts on December 20th, doesn't it?
Yeah. So that's my point. So we'll have 1 week
So
of
we'll have So we have Craven in two episodes next week, and then
yeah.
after that we have 2 to 3 episodes
Oh,
of What If, and then the episode of each.
that's my bad. I was looking at my calendar. It was looking at January, not
I
not
was telling you
December.
something.
I was like, where are you going with this? And then I saw January. Oh,
I'm
okay,
trying to go
my
with
bad.
like I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's not correct. Um. Anyway, so yeah, with it, so this week we're gonna be talking about
What if it's the 20th?
isn't it?
I thought it was the
It's the
22nd.
21st. Or maybe they changed it. Oh, it's
Uh,
7 episodes. No, 8 episodes.
it is 8 episodes, and the first one is December 22nd. Yeah, so we do have a one free
Oh,
week.
you're right. I Why did I think it was later? I mean, earlier than that.
No,
Oh,
because
you know
it
what?
is it
All the other years were.
Yeah, it was, but it also don't forget it. It ends earlier than it doesn't end on the 31st. It ends on the
It was on 29th.
30th, the
Oh no,
29th.
30th. Wait, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 29th. Because it's only 8 episodes.
Oh, okay.
Because I complained that it's one episode less than all the other seasons,
Yeah, I
and
do remember that.
the original seasons were supposed to be 10 episodes each.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, season one was so the episode of the Grandmaster, with Iron Man making it, that was supposed to be season one,
I remember
and
that.
then
Yep.
yeah. So anyway, so we're gonna be talking. My apologies. We're gonna be talking about
Back on track.
Invincible season 3, the trailer. Then we're gonna be talking about the 2 episode series premiere of Skeleton Crew, and then moving on to the 2 episode series premiere of Creature Commandos, ending with a character spotlight from Mike. So let's get right into it and talk about the trailer for Invincible 3. We are getting major movement in the Invincible universe.
I saw this trailer and my jaw was just dropped because it just like went right at you. Like they held no punches in this trailer. That was awesome.
No, and the whole thing is too. So like I know the comics a little bit. So
Mhm.
like without giving any, well, I'll give it something away. I don't really care. Cecil dies at some point. I don't know the full parameters of how he dies. So it's like I'm curious to see when that happens. But I'm under the impression he lives to at least um, the Invincible War, because we have all the marks come in to take over this particular world.
Oh, okay.
But again,
I don't know the
once you
comics whatsoever, so.
so like the idea is it's like, so how it's supposed to go, I think, is like it's supposed to have the Invincible War, which is
Mhm.
all the variants of Invincible trying to take over, and so the heroes and everyone else have to team up to, and Mark obviously have to team up to fight his alternate versions of himself.
Mhm.
And then after that, there's like a little bit of a lull, and we have what's called the Viltrumite War, which is the legitimate war of Viltrumites attacking, and everything else. And they actually recruit other Viltrumites to Earth before the war,
Oh, okay.
some of which we might have already seen. But that's in the comics, so I don't know if they're fully going into it or
Yeah,
not,
they
because
obviously could change things slightly.
they can, and that's the whole thing too, where it's like, because now the idea is, even though the multiverse has been heavily hinted at,
Hmm.
the guy who teleports everyone to things is dead. So it's one of those things where it's like, how will that play out? Is it still existing? Can people still get there? All that stuff, right? Because that's a
Yeah.
possibility.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I'm very curious on that piece and just where they're gonna go on that piece. But also we have Oliver now,
Yep.
who I knew was gonna be wearing a suit in this season because of how fast he grows.
I forgot about that. So when I saw him like becoming basically mini Omni Man,
I I
you
love
know
that scene because he's like, I swear, Mark, I thought the O was for Oliver. I swear.
yeah. I'm sorry.
It's like I'm so sorry. Like that was not my point. That was not what it was supposed to be. I thought it was an O for Oliver, and that's on me.
um,
Um,
I mean, in this one, they're planning for there's going to be a divide between Mark and Cecil. They're
yeah,
they just drove right into it.
they're not hiding it. So
No.
that's gotta be like episode one's got to be him finishing his training, and
Mm,
Cecil being like, this big mission needs to happen, and then it fails, or Cecil makes him do something he doesn't want to do,
yeah.
and that's when they go toe to toe.
Because
That's
I
what I'm
mean,
guessing.
this trailer made it seem like Mark is conflicted because he doesn't want to be like Omni Man, and Cecil is
Making him look
insisting
like
that he has to somewhat be like him because he either, like he said, he can either be the hero or he can be the good guy. You can't be both.
no, no, no. You either have to save the world or be the good guy. You can't be both.
Either way.
No, I know, but the reason
Yeah,
why I say it that way is because that was very specific for him,
yeah,
because he wanted to make it clear. What
yeah.
I
I
love
mean, at the
what
end of the
about
day, it's
all
because he can't have a conscience. Like
no,
he
no,
has to cross that line.
you just have to do it. Also, Kate's got like a weird hairdo now,
Yeah, that threw me
and it
off.
looks like was she fighting um the immortal?
I th- I don't think so. I thought she was
Who
just fighting Mark.
who was the one that ripped off her head?
I thought it was Mark.
Was it Mark?
I thought so. I thought it was
Oh, you know
all the
what?
hero.
You know what? We might not have seen the person's face, and we might have just saw an arm.
Possible. I'll keep.
I'm gonna, no, no, I'm gonna look that up myself because now I'm curious because I know for a fact I remember her head getting ripped off.
No, yeah, no, her head got ripped off. It did. But I swore it was Mark because that whole thing is
And
about.
now I say something. Still my favorite.
but
Oh, it was Mark. You're
yeah,
right.
because everybody the defenders of Earth, I forget their name, are going.
Guardians.
Guardians of Earth are going after Mark because now he's an enemy of Earth.
Yeah, which is so weird to begin. And so
Yeah,
yeah, that's gonna be
we're
interesting to
curious how
see.
we got to this point. Like they gave us like what the point of the trailer, the season is, so we think, and then
Well, at least the very beginning of the season for sure.
yeah,
And then
and then
Mark is
obviously Cecil is preparing to fight Mark because he has all these what are they mutant robot things?
so they were from season one. They were the one where the guy like basically like made humans into androids
I do not remember
or
that at all.
cyborgs. I think if you were originally human and made robot, I think you're cyborg.
Yeah, that makes sense because cyborg.
No, I know, but it gets weird because android is anyway. I think androids are made to look like humans. Um,
Yeah, let me. I'll look difference
but yeah, so
between.
anyway, either way, it doesn't matter. They're human bodies that were basically augmented to be robotic. Um,
An android is a completely artificial machine designed to look and act like a human, while a cyborg is
uh,
a living organism that has integrated artificial components to enhance its abilities.
okay, so I was correct on the difference. I just wasn't positive on which one was which.
I go off of like I mean in that case you go off of like DC because Cyborg is a human that got turned into a robot, and then they have Android, which is a artificial intelligence that has enhanced itself
Oh, okay,
because of
there
its
you go.
components.
That makes life
So
easier.
yeah, they made it painted it very clear for us.
No, that's fair. But yeah, so they're supposed to be as strong as Mark, and in fact, one of the reasons why I'm kind of confused a little bit is because in the comics, Cecil actually makes all the dead marks from the other multiverse into the cyborg stuff for his army.
Oh,
So, not to say that Mark isn't going to be beat up by those robots, that he might still be, because
hmm,
they're trying to make them as strong as
yeah.
Viltrumites. But the idea is like they eventually get like major upgrades. So I don't know if they're coming quick or what. You know what I'm saying? Because we still don't know where this takes place. We know this takes place what is it? A year and a half after the events of season two.
Uh, no,
Is
I
that?
don't think it's that long. No, because they make a point to make a jab in that first teaser trailer.
Oh, you're right. It's only been like 6 months.
It's been a lot quicker because they in the teaser trailer it's like, oh, you're not going to take a break like you did take a break in the middle of the fight to go off for 6 months or whatever, because they
Yeah,
were digging doing the jab about how they
they stopped it
mid-season.
though. Yeah. Um. Yeah.
Actually, it might have been a while now thinking about it.
Well, no, I think that they made they talked about him taking a long break in between, and he's like, "Are you going to take another break, another 3 month break to really
Yeah.
mess with everyone?" And like, yes, they made that joke, but they also talked about how long it's been since season two. Granted, it might have been just the joke. It might not have actually been like canon. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But I'm curious on that front. But also, they did a great job of being like, because the teaser
Four
trailer,
months
4 months, because the teaser trailer, um,
they did say it. Yep.
yeah, no, in the teaser trailer though, it's like the start of Mark and Cecil training Mark. So like now we're in the show and Mark's being trained heavily.
Yep. um there's so much that went into this trailer, like
I just love how they talk about how much stronger Mark has gotten.
yep.
And then
And
Rex is
he
like, can you not make a superhero inadequate right now?
yeah, make me feel inferior. Like,
Exactly. He goes,
they
at least it's not leg day.
no, yeah. No, they really showed like Mark has gotten stronger. Mark has gotten a lot angrier. Like
Yes.
they really showed his rage, and
But he's also
whether
got
it's
a new
because
suit.
obviously, huh? The
He's
new
also
suit.
getting a, which
Yep.
is his dark era.
It's meant to be like him
So
getting.
that's what it was in the comics. It doesn't mean they're gonna,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
but like based on how they're presenting this season so far, it
Yeah.
looks like that's going to be accurate
Okay, that's cool.
because he doesn't because in his mind, Invincible is like that original costume is like a curse, and so like he wants a new costume to prove like he's new and improved.
Hmm.
I'm obviously assuming he keeps his name for obvious reasons, but um, he definitely changes his costume. And then I'm curious to see Oliver fighting
Yeah.
because we see him fight the Wonder Twins, um, who are now fully back to normal.
Yep. They seem to be back to normal. The clone is
Not obvious.
nope. It's back to being not obvious because in the last season they killed off the quote unquote original.
Yes, and it's still yeah, and so yeah, that's the whole thing too. But yeah, I love the burnt one, the one that got burnt. He's like, well, at least I know which one's not the clone. No,
Yep. Didn't
that
last
was
long though.
it lasted an episode, maybe.
Yeah.
Um,
I might have to go through and read the. I'll try to read the Invincible comics so that way I have some kind of better idea of what's going on. And I just looked it up. There's 144 issues. So
yeah, and they're pretty like obviously they don't go into detail. The show doesn't go through every detail of it.
obviously they can't.
They're doing the main story arc for
Yeah.
obvious reasons.
And
And
I mean, it's gonna. This is like at least with Invincible, and this is
I,
different from the Boys, because obviously the Boys is ending next season, and the comics has a much bigger scope. Whereas we've talked about it where the Boys, we're sad that it's ending after season 5, but
but
at
it's
least
really not.
they can keep growing slightly.
Yeah.
Invincible, they've already said that as long as the show is popular, they'll keep going for like 7 8 seasons, whatever, and then create spin-offs. So it seems like there's a lot more with Invincible than there is with the Boys.
I mean, agreed. But I also think there's been so many things that haven't been explored that they can explore and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Because it's like they're only doing like the main story stuff, right? And so again, not to say that they're not doing side stuff at all, they are, but like that's obviously not their main focus. And they're
Mm.
doing a really good job, in my opinion. I mean, I haven't been disappointed. The most disappointed I've been was just that break.
Yeah,
But
I
like
mean
when you
it's
watch, but when you
yeah,
watch
no,
the
it was good. It's just like my, my issue is that
yeah,
like
it was.
the break killed the hype.
But the break was only because they wanted to make more money.
Yep, 100%.
Um,
Capitalism.
yeah. So my whole thing on that is like, yeah, and then it just irritates me a little bit. But
It irritated me a lot more than you.
it did, it did. I also love the White Room
Yeah.
because we've seen
Uh
the White Room before.
huh. I,
Um,
I know we saw it. I just don't remember the details of it.
well, we never saw it like this,
Yeah.
so we never knew. I don't think I remember us ever knowing like full details of what that room can do.
hmm
Um,
Clearly, it's a mark counter.
well, it's a Viltrumite counter in his mind because I think the idea was it was originally supposed to be for Omni Man.
Yeah, but I think in this case, I don't think he was. I don't think Cecil was thought that the room could protect him from Omni Man. He had hoped,
No,
but
it was
he has
more.
more certainty that it could protect him from Mark because Mark isn't at his
That
level
was
yet.
I'll say it this way: it was the best chance of him surviving Omni Man.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. And this one, he's like pretty damn sure because he's been watching Mark and training him that he
Yep.
knows that this can definitely protect him from Mark.
Yep. Or at least he's pretty confident that he can. I
I would,
mean,
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna say he's in the 90%.
for all we know, they could be throwing a swerve with this trailer, and this could all just be some kind of training exercise for Mark, some
Or
sick Cecil training,
not even. It's an alternate universe.
or that. That would be kind of random, but I mean,
Well,
it is possible.
no, it wouldn't because it would be the start of the Invincible War.
I guess just if it were to start off like this and it would be just randomly throwing it in there, it would be kind of random because of how last season ended.
Oh no, that's fair. You know what?
If they
Okay, I
build
will give you.
into it, then that would make a little bit of sense. But just to all of a sudden just jump right into it, I wouldn't.
That's
I don't
fair.
know how I'd feel about that.
No, that's fair. I get your point. I'm just stating like I'm wondering if pieces of it, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
parts of
that's
it
possible.
because it's just a trailer. It doesn't mean anything. I
Yeah,
hate saying it that way, but it's like legitimately
no, it's true. They could
we
throw
don't know we
complete
don't know the
swerves.
we don't know the context of any of
Yep,
it whatsoever. We are assuming we do, but that doesn't mean anything.
correct.
But I'm very much excited for it. February's right around the corner, so I'm super excited. But yeah, I mean, I got nothing else to say because it's looking really good.
Yeah, no, I'm hyped for it. Invincible comes around, and these are these shows where they they're not as common as stuff from Marvel and Star Wars at this point. So when they come around, it's it builds the hype.
But I was also gonna say too, like this has been a superhero show that is like super like popular right now,
Yeah,
and it is not.
this and the boys has been like
Yes.
they've been great. They haven't. I mean, like I said, the last seasons for both of these shows were kind of a little bit weak, but they still were built the hype up.
No, agreed. And like we agreed too, like with the boys, season 4 felt like it was just a build up for the final season,
Yep.
which is not a horrible thing, but it's just because of that it makes season 4 not as good.
Yeah, it was kind of my thought was like, what was the point of season 4? It was.
It was just more episodes to get you ready for season 5. That's really what it came down to, in my
Yep.
opinion. Not that it
Yep.
wasn't good. It just I felt like it lost a lot of hype because of that.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't like season 4 was just. I mean, wasn't as good as the first 3 seasons. So I mean, it is what it is. So all right. I mean, if you have anything else,
I will say though, there were some episodes that were phenomenal though.
yeah.
But overall, I agree with you.
No, yeah. I mean, it had some moments. I mean, typical of the boys. It has some shock moments and whatnot. So I mean,
Will always be the case. Let's be honest.
yep. Like the duplicating guy where he's in the sauna enjoying himself with a picture
wasn't
of
even the weirdest.
firecracker.
The weirdest part. I'm talking about the dungeon.
No, I mean, that was weird too.
But anyway, yeah. So that's gonna be it for Invincible. Let's move on to Skeleton Crew. So Skeleton Crew was a world builder. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Is it at 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 Atler? What's the name of
At
the place?
yeah, at Atler.
Because I know it's
Plant.
like 2 words and it's like at Atler.
I believe it
No,
was
At Atten.
at Atten. Yep.
Um, But anyway, so Aten is the planet we're on, and it's a very much like closest I would say to like Earth type living style. I'll say, like suburban life and stuff like that with
Mm,
schools and everything else.
yep,
Obviously in a futuristic setting, but like I would say this is the most earthly like planet we've been to in all of
100%.
Star Wars right now.
Yep, aside for the random spaceship.
Yeah, but I mean like
No, I know what you mean. I know
but
what you
you
mean.
get what I'm saying. So it's like
Yeah.
it's the most Earth-like
It
planet
was
known.
very, very. It was the most relatable to what we as
Yes.
people know.
Yep.
Um,
And so like the whole idea of this planet, and this is what throws me off, is like you go to school to get your rank to decide what you're going to do for the rest of your life, but it doesn't seem like they really. And again, I think that's part of the point of the show. Is like they really don't explain what it is anybody does.
no, no. I mean, they
There's a
didn't really talk
supervisor.
about what the dad is. There's the
Yeah,
supervisor for
he's the vice supervisor.
yeah for
And
something.
no, that's just his title, vice supervisor. Like he
Yeah,
doesn't
for
have
something.
anything. But like, is it a rank? Is it a title? Like I don't even know, right?
And then there's the
And
superintendent woman who is supervising the tests.
yes, yeah, and that test determines whether or not you are allowed to be a citizen? Question mark.
No, that
Um,
determines what your future is. It determines what
yeah,
your
but you
career
can
is,
you can fail it, which is what
which makes no sense.
exactly because it's like
You have to study for what you want to do in the future. I mean, that's literally what our human life is. We have to study to be what we want to do.
I
But it's
know, but
like
it was just
starting it off at like 10 years old. It's like at least at least with us, we have a chance to make it to 18.
well, yeah. The idea is it's like 16 because that's when we take the SATs. Um,
True.
but I get your point. So it's like one of those things where it's like, so I think that's where I was confused. But then again, the kids are too, so it's not like we're not in the same boat.
They're
So it's
just
like,
they're just they're just going along for the ride. I mean,
one of the key things though is Jedi's exist and like are talked about heavily because the kids are playing Jedi's.
they exist. They're more of in this time period because this is post Empire, New Republic. They are still like a myth. Not like they exist, but they're like legendary. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
not.
But I mean, like kids are playing them like they're superheroes, which is kind of like what we would
Yeah.
expect. Which
Uh-huh.
again, not what I was. I wasn't prepared
No.
for that, but it was
No, no,
good.
I was watching that. I'm like, this is so fun. Like,
But
this is so adorable.
it's so accurate though, because
It
it's like
is.
it's not like I'm not like this is exactly what I'm expecting. Like if we magically like
This
went
is what it would be like in the real world. You know,
as close to
you
it as
have
possible, yes.
yeah, you have these larger than life heroes that are just becoming a commodity. And it's something fun, and it's something, when you're a kid, you have you have these little things. It's like, I want to become a Jedi when I get older, and you play with the Jedi toys and all that other stuff. So it's feeling more, like I said at the beginning, it's feeling more real.
No, agreed.
Which I
Um,
know for you, that's something that you really love.
no, I actually liked all of this show so far, world-wise.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more about the pirate aspect too in a minute, obviously, because that's a major plot point in this whole series.
Hmm.
But so the whole main point of the first episode was the main character Wim and his buddy Neil are trying to figure out what they're going to be when they're adults, because apparently you need to know that when you're 10. And they then the kid Wim falls asleep, sleeps through his test, tries to take a shortcut, crashes into the woods, and finds what he is assuming is a Jedi temple.
Hmm.
When in actuality, we find out later it's a spacecraft. But the droids are what throw me off in this because they're scouring the forbidden areas, which makes me question why are there forbidden areas?
Yeah. Well, for that exact reason, there's a spaceship that kids can randomly walk in and go into just take off.
I
So,
guess,
I mean,
but like so like I'm questioning a lot of things about this planet more and more as the episodes go on, because so we get to the point where the kid decides to get his friend Neil to come find him, to go find the ship. He had talked about it when he was getting in trouble in front of the superintendent slash principal.
hmm.
And his dad he was trying to tell his dad about the Jedi temple he found, and he's like, "You, I don't want to hear any more of this. We're done."
Yeah, his dad is a prick.
But also, like, too, the thing that stinks too is like he lost his wife,
Hmm.
and like your son has nobody, and you're leaving him pretty much alone for a week.
Yeah, yeah. And during an very important time in his life.
Like the most important time of his entirety of his life, because apparently this decides everything.
Yeah, I
And
mean, granted, like his job is pretty important. I mean, obviously,
but we
like
don't
this is a
know.
new. So I mean, I get that, but like,
But we don't
just
know that his job is important. That's part of the problem. Like we don't know what his job is. Like his
well, we
job
don't know what it is, but he's making it out to be very important.
but like he also pops in when he needs to, so it's like clearly you're not needed as much as you think you are, or else you wouldn't be able to sneak away.
But you also saw that he was very upset that he had to draw him away.
Correct, but that also changes the factor too, because if he legitimately could not get away, he would not have been able to get away.
No,
Which
that's
means
true.
his job, whatever that is, it does allow him to do so. He's choosing not to, and
That's
that's
fair.
where I have my issue. So
That's
anyway,
fair.
while he's having that conversation, this girl hears it, and so her and her friend,
Fern,
then Fern and her
KB.
KB, thank you. They show up at the site of the temple. Um, they dig it up. They have a little game to decide who gets, finders keepers of it. Fern wins.
Yeah, very easily.
Yeah. And then they go inside and they find out it's a ship. And then, typical kid fashion, he touches buttons he shouldn't, and then it takes
Yep.
off.
Yep. And it wakes up a pirate robot.
Yes, CM something. That by far the funniest robot so far.
Yep.
Um,
He's well, yeah. I mean, yeah. So far, yes, because but we don't know what happened to him. He could. We're assuming he's actually dead.
I think he's just short circuited personally.
I'm like hoping that, but
Well, because the way he was shot was by electricity. It didn't look like a blaster.
oh, I thought it was a blaster.
It was electric, so I don't think so. But I could be wrong. It doesn't really matter. So anyway, they get on the ship. It takes off. Then this robot tries to capture the kids and bring them to the captain. Fern then says she killed the captain. He's like, "There's no way you did." And she goes, "Well, prove it. If the captain isn't here and I'm here, like clearly I must be captain." He goes, "You're right, captain." So they
Yeah, logic stands.
and so they try to get back to Atten, and the robot's never heard of it. So he's naming all these planets that are similar in name, or at least alphabetical, right? And
Yep.
they're like, no, 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 it's at Atten. So then they decide to go to a pirate spaceport. Well, no, no, they go to a
Port Borg.
spaceport, huh?
Port Borg.
Yeah, but it's a spaceport.
No, no, no. It's a spaceport that's been overtaken by pirates.
Yes, but they don't know that.
The kids
So
do not know that.
yes,
No.
the robot does obviously.
Yeah.
So the robot's like, keep your blaster with you, Captain. The people there are, you know, crafty or whatever. And so they take off, and then apparently Republic credits are obsolete now, or like rare.
No, no, no. Like they're very valuable
Oh, okay.
because when the kid was when what's his name
Wim,
Kim
Wim,
him Wim
Wim.
when Wim
I keep doing the same thing. I want to call him Kim, and it's not right.
yeah, when Wim goes to pay for the food, he gives him one Republic credit, and the guy like starts drooling at his mouth and
He's
wants
like, oh, that's not
more.
enough. How much more do you have?
And that's when the entire thing started, where all the pirates are going after them because they want their Republic credits
Yeah.
because they're very valuable. Um,
And
and
so,
apparently, at Atten is a mythical planet, or
yeah, which is what threw me off too, because it's like everyone's saying it's a treasure planet,
yep,
and I'm very curious at what that means.
I'm very curious, and I mean, obviously, now going off of the first episode, where you're wondering why these places are off limits, that would kind of go along with that because there's very important stuff that they don't want kids wandering into.
Or anybody, because it looks like it's even for the adults too. Because if you remember, the dad
Both.
was walking through. He's like, "What are you doing here?"
Yep.
I'm trying to find my son. But anyway, so we have that going on, and yeah, that was the big thing for me, where it was like they all kept saying like this was not a like that's not a real place.
Yep.
Also, the girl that stops Fern and KB is supposedly also a Jedi or a Force user.
Oh, really? Oh,
IDMB kind of ruined that for me.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, because the woman looked familiar, but they gave the name of the character,
Uh-huh.
and it was like Jedi, whatever. And I was like, well, that sucks. Why would you say their title?
No, that's lame.
Like, because they did the same thing. I mean, granted, we saw um, Jude Law's character use the Force, so like him being called a Jedi isn't all that shocking.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like, why would you put her name as a
That's
Jedi?
literally just a blatant spoiler.
Exactly. So I'm hoping that it's wrong, and like maybe it's like it was like a misprint or something. But like, it's making me think that she's actually like with Jude Law's character in some way.
I think it kind of makes sense because she was looking out for the kids against the pirate horde. So,
Correct.
um, it seems like
It seemed out of character from where they were.
exactly like why would she, if she didn't have some kind of moral conscience, why would she care that the kids would get captured by the pirates?
Exactly. And so the kids get captured by the pirates. Um, and so the big thing too is we see the pirates from the very beginning of the series show up and capture the kids and put them in the brig. And then they're inside the brig with Jude Law's character, where he uses the Force to get the key, and he grabs it, and that's how the episode ends.
hmm
Um, big
We
thing
see the
here.
pirates. We see that whole pirates in the very beginning where they are trying to go after a Republic ship that is supposed to have a vault full of Republic credits.
Well, a vault full of valuables. I don't think it was clear on like more than
It
what.
wasn't Republic credits, but it was credits because they wanted money.
Yes, 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 yes.
Um, and when they opened the vault, there was only one credit, and
Yeah, which was
they,
weird
yeah, they have so the pirates have a revolt where
on their
they
captain,
on their captain, who then gets tossed into the brig,
who we're assuming is Jude
where
Law's
you're
character.
assuming it is Jude Law. And I'm assuming that he knew that the guy was lying about the credits because he was able to use the Force to sense it,
Correct.
which is why he was even more shocked and stunned that there wasn't anything in the vault.
Correct. So I think he legitimately thought that there was, and somebody must have stolen it already.
Yep. I think something happened that there was some kind of
There,
collusion.
yes, where like the captain, not just the captain that was mutinied against, but the one that was running the Republic ship, legitimately thought that it was filled with credits, but turned out to be somebody must have stole it in some sort of way beforehand.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then my whole point is that it's Jude Law's character that was the captain who then gets mutinied against, and then that lion-esque humanoid creature is now the new captain
I would call him more of a wolf, not a lion.
because of the color.
I mean, even just the face. It looked like a dog more than a lion. Narrower face. At least to me. Look, he made me think of a werewolf.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Um,
Semantics doesn't matter whatsoever, but
no, because realistically, whatever species he is, it has nothing to do with an actual human. I mean,
yeah,
Earth animal anyway.
yeah, no,
Because realistically, it could be both. Like I hate. Where's the sound?
yeah,
The inspiration could legitimately be both.
yeah.
But anyway, I'm curious to see where this is going to go. I mean, obviously, the next episode is they escape.
hmm
That shouldn't be a shock at all. I want to just know about Atlan so bad because it doesn't exist.
Yeah. I'm very much looking forward to revealing more about what's going on.
Because like it seems like it's lost in the world, in the universe, and
Yeah.
like the entire like Republic doesn't exist, but on Atlan it does. So it's like, what's going on there?
What?
Like the Republic doesn't exist anywhere because it's been like just like destroyed. Like they're rebuilding it to the New Republic.
Yeah. Okay.
So like the fact that
You're
they
saying at Atten is still the old ways.
yes.
Okay. I understand now.
But yeah, I mean that was pretty much it. I mean there wasn't really a lot. Like there was a. I'll say it this way: there was a lot going on, but there wasn't a lot to like explain. It was all self-explanatory for the most part. The only
Yeah.
thing that's in
It was.
speculation is who the captain is that got mutinied against, and what is at Atten, which realistically we've already talked about. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
there's
We're getting little snippets, and as the season progresses, we're going to learn more and more.
absolutely.
I am looking forward to this. This was fun. I'm
No, no, this was good. I think the only complaint I have is that it's coming out the same time as Creature Commandos. That's it. But like realistically, it's a good show.
I mean, I wouldn't really say that's a complaint, but
Which makes it less than. than what it should be.
I mean, you can enjoy them both. They're both very different shows. As we, it's not something you can compare. You cannot compare these two shows.
But let's go. Speaking of, let's talk about Creature Commandos.
Yeah, and as we talked about just before we started recording, how it was not what we expected to start off with.
No, so there's a lot that I just wasn't prepared for, like what we got right away. We pretty much got an answer to everything that's canon from the DC.
Yep, they right off the bat answered those questions for the most part. I mean, there's still
some speculation on some things.
Yeah, sorry, there's just some all of a sudden beeping going on in my headphones.
I might be dying.
I just changed the battery. No, it's full battery.
Well,
it's literally I've never had this. It literally sounded like a doorbell.
Oh, okay.
So I'm confused.
But yeah, so we get pretty much knowing that Starro existed, destroyed everything. Then
Suicide Squad and Peacemaker is canon.
To our knowledge, everything in it, yes, as of right now, unless said otherwise.
So far, obviously we know this because James Gunn has said it. But in the show, in terms of this, Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, canon. Actually, Peacemaker might not be canon because they haven't.
Yes,
Because Amanda Waller's daughter. Yep.
Yes.
So the only thing that we haven't had real confirmation is the superheroes, because at the end of at the end of Peacemaker, Justice League shows up. We know obviously that James Gunn said that they'll explain it, but we haven't had confirmation in the show yet.
Correct. But I think that's going to be talked about in Peacemaker, not in this show.
I believe so. Yeah.
So, because I think when he was talking about that, he said that.
He said it would be explained in Peacemaker.
So, yeah, I like it. I like the world building really quickly. We also get Cersei really quick.
Yeah, we do. She's already established as the main villain, so.
Yeah, and that throws me off a little bit too. Not in a bad way, just in general. I also just like that it's the Sons of Themyscira.
Yep, the Sons of I can't even say it. Themyscira.
That's how I always have said it.
We got confirmation that the age difference between Rick Flag and Rick Flag Sr. 18 years.
Yep.
We got what else did we get?
Rick Flag Jr. is dead.
Yep, that's confirmed, and Rick Flag Sr. is very upset.
Weasel was there but survived.
Yep, and they're saying that Weasel was a misunderstood killer.
Yeah, because he hasn't killed anyone.
He hasn't killed anybody, and he's been very well behaved since. So
sometimes it looks like he was gonna kill somebody, and then
what was it, the second episode when he goes after I don't remember which episode of the musician, and it's just the musician looked terrified.
Not only that, then all of a sudden we assume he's dead because he was talking about how nice of a guy he is and everything else, or how he's turned a new leaf, and then he does that, and we're just like, clearly not. And
yeah.
All of a sudden you see him like the Weasel puts him back where he was, and I'm like. Okay.
The guy just looks terrified, and he's just the Weasel's sitting there with a big smile. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Okay. And
so I'm going to assume that I was incorrect with the soldiers, the princess, the knights for the princess. They seem like they do not look like the Atomic Knights. They look like just regular guardsmen.
Yeah, which also throws me off too, because it made me think like this country was more like Themyscira in a way.
Yeah,
it's like more mystical, but we're not getting that. I'm not getting that right now anyway. That doesn't mean it doesn't change later down the road, but I mean, like right now, I'm not getting that vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But the interactions with the knights were hilarious.
Oh, I love the knights. I love the knights, and I love Dr. Phosphorus. Dr. Phosphorus is amazing. Absolutely love him.
He's Clayface. He's gonna be Clayface. The guy who voices him.
Oh, that's him? Oh, that's awesome.
And he's like, and I just like how he's like, you're smiling. He's like, well, yeah, I'm always smiling. I'm a radioactive skull. I always look like I'm smiling. And then all of a sudden somebody goes, are you? Yeah, I know I am this time, but he doesn't know it.
Yeah, he just right to the knight's face. He's like, I don't like your attitude. Are you laughing at me? He's like, no, I'm a skeleton. This is how I always look. It's like, well, are you? Yeah, but you don't know that.
You can't tell that. But yeah,
And I
so
love the him and the bride, where the bride is just constantly, are you frowning? No. Are you laughing? Yeah, totally,
oh,
absolutely.
is that a sarcastic smile? Yeah. Is that a sarcastic smile? Yeah. And then at one point he finally goes, "You already know."
Yeah, you don't. I don't even need to say it.
No, it was perfect, and the bride is awesome. I have to say that.
Yep. Wasn't expecting the interaction, the story between the bride
The creator.
and Frankenstein and the creator and Doctor Frankenstein. Was not expecting that.
Oh, it
Um,
was so good. Like that. That honestly was the best part. And first off, everything about these two episodes were great, but the
yeah.
fact that the story of the bride and her backstory was by far what made the show for me like solidified being like this is going to be a phenomenal show.
Oh yeah. And just apparently Frankenstein has been hunting his bride for 200 years.
Yeah, for
Yes,
decades.
she was born in 1812.
Because they also fought in the world wars together,
Yep.
but like also not really. It was a weird the whole thing.
Yeah, well, the only reason Frankenstein fought in the war was because he's trying to get his wife, and she just has none of it.
She wants nothing to do with him, and it's because he killed her lover,
Yep.
which was hilarious. He's like, now we got rid of him, we could be together.
Yeah.
And
It
the
just,
voice, and you know who the voice actor for Frankenstein is?
no.
That's Red Guardian.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
I,
Yep.
d- I w- I was like, and he's perfect for it, obviously.
1831.
Okay, yeah, so not quite 200, not quite 200, but
Yeah,
close.
just shy of 200.
Um, but yeah, so also the bride is like super strong.
She's got a lot of power.
Yeah,
She has a lot of power, and she can
physical.
physical, but she also can like. Well, I guess this would be physical too, because she can jump really high. So
Well, yeah, but that's all like physical like attributes
yeah,
too.
physical strength. Yeah.
Um, and she goes toe to toe against Cersei, which was an incredible fight. Um,
Yep.
and
That
then
was a good fight.
the balloon
And I,
army.
I love when she realized that Cersei was magical based. Where she's like, I hate magic users.
And her arms turn into balloons, and she starts trying to hit her with the balloons. And it does nothing. That was just it was great overall. I'm very so obviously it ends. So like the main story ends with her with the bride on the ground bleeding, not Nina gasping for air. Although I think she can breathe now because of the rain? Question mark.
If she can read, it's like gasps because it's
But
it's
it's
not
like
consistent water.
but it's better than nothing. Like it's definitely like
It's
she has
keeping it's able to keep her alive,
yeah, and
but not
so
not that well.
correct. I agree with that one. But I'm just saying like it's better than what she was like 20 seconds earlier.
Yeah.
Um, and then the rest of the creature commandos were on their way to help.
Dog wants to be the main attraction.
Um, but yeah, I loved it. I loved Waller. Waller was great. Like the introduction to Task Force M was incredible.
Yep.
Yeah, there was really nothing I didn't like. There was
The
nothing I
prince the
tested out.
princess the princess is a horny fiend.
The queen kills me.
Yeah, just it is,
I'm princess until dear old mother dies.
and she's like the old woman in SpongeBob, just living forever.
You just hear a moan go, and she's like, "Oh yes, mother, we thank them for their service. You're
Yeah.
absolutely correct. You love your peas? Delicious, aren't they?" And just Rick Flag's just like, what?
Yep,
And
we'll go along with it.
so the sex scene between him and the princess was by far the greatest because GI Robot and Dr. Phosphorus are at the door.
It's just
And,
keeping guard.
and my favorite is just like Dr. Phosphorus is like, can you give the guy like 30 seconds, all right? It's not going to take him that long. You saw how hot she is. And then GI Robot's just like, but he's an experienced warrior. And he's like, he's got a point. He is older, so maybe give him a full minute and a half. And then the knight's like, "You need to
Just
get in there now," and he's just like,
wait, hold on. You just hear the screaming in the background.
almost. All right, we're good.
I I loved GI Robot. Just his entire shtick is, will you kill Nazis with me? When are we killing Nazis? It has been exactly 74 years, 23 days, and like 6 hours since I've killed robots. And
No, killed Nazis.
no, killed Nazis. And it's just Nina is like, will you be killing Nazis with me? I wouldn't have it any other way.
So we all know that every time they're gonna need GI Robot, they're just gonna say those are Nazis.
Yep.
Kill them.
100%. Oh yeah, when they were going to rescue the princess, not princess, the bride, she's like, "We're going to kill Nazis." Oh boy.
I cannot wait to kill Nazis. But yeah, and you know who voices GI Robot?
I don't remember.
It's James Gunn's brother.
Right. Yep.
He's doing Weasel.
Weasel and GI.
Yep. So he's gonna, if they ever appear in the live action again, the two of them. Oh, I hear him whining.
Yep. That's.
But no. So the whole thing is too like. So if it's live action at all, it's going to be it's gonna be Sean Gunn playing those two characters.
Yep.
Which is great.
Luckily, I guess both of them would be kind of. I mean, depending on the route they go, it would be CGI characters, so it wouldn't be.
No, I don't think he would be physically either of them. Well, I don't know. I think he might have been physically Weasel.
That's what I mean. Like Weasel, you could have put on a costume. That's why I said depending on the route you go. But it could have also. I think actually now thinking about it, like they did a CGI thing where they just put the suit on him.
But anyway, I'm curious to see where this goes in general, because like it's alluding to the fact that Frankenstein's going to save the bride.
Yeah.
Because apparently Frankenstein was on a cruise ship, which is beyond.
he's had a life experience.
He's like, my bride's back home. I'll be right there.
They at the end of episode 1, they made it seem like they hadn't seen each other since they were born. It had been a long time, and apparently he's just been going after her every single decade for the last 200 years.
and then come to find out she was in love with the creator.
Yep, she was in love with Dr. Frankenstein himself, and
Frankenstein was jealous.
Frankenstein was very well. I mean, Dr. Frankenstein made her for him.
Yeah, but also, but like Frankenstein was also an idiot.
I mean, yes,
like,
he was.
Dr. Frankenstein made it very clear that he was.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's like, this is to fix all the mistakes I made with you, and I think he did.
Yeah, he did. So something I wanna.
Oh, bring up? Yes.
I want to bring up. I don't know if you've seen these theories, but some things that I've been seeing online is that the princess is actually Clayface, and basically the princess was a plant from Amanda Waller to get to start a war between Themyscira and this island, so that way then she and the U.S. government can come in and sweep through potentially Themyscira.
Wow.
That's the rumor going around. I'd
fun with Clayface then.
Yeah. I mean, Clayface, as we saw in Harley Quinn, likes to play those games. So
no, I mean, I get it. I'm just saying in general, I'm a little surprised. But that would be interesting.
Also, I mean, going off of it, it seems in the DCU, Themyscira isn't as secretive as obviously as in comics, where it's like a mythical place. People have heard of it, and it's just whether or not people believe it actually exists or not.
Yes, like the idea is it's like they know of it, like they know the myth of it. They know like it's a place of only warrior women, but that's all they know, and they don't even know if it truly exists. And Cersei makes it seem like it's real because she's from there.
Yep. And most important thing, cannot forget this: Shaggy is canon in the DCU.
Yeah, I saw that. I
cannot forget that.
But he was also high as a kite.
Oh yeah, very very high.
he had a joint in his mouth. Yeah, I mean, like, so that I saw that with like some of the like I didn't see it when I saw it. I'll say that.
No, no, I was
I
looking at the Bride and Frankenstein when they were fighting.
Yeah, I saw it when people were posting it after the fact, obviously.
Yep.
Because all of a sudden they're like, Shaggy is now canon, and I'm like, what? And I was like, oh, okay, I got it. Um, I just love the idea of them like fighting each other every decade.
Yeah, I love the attire every single decade,
But
just
like
the
every
changing with
decade,
the
it was like
times.
perfect though. Like it was
No,
perfect attire
yeah,
for
no,
every single
they
decade.
were blending in, and I love that the Bride just perfectly fit in wherever she was. They had no qualms with her, just an undead, surgically repaired creature,
Like
just
I
fitting in
understand.
everywhere.
I'll say this: like the '90s made the most amount of sense because in the '90s that would be like, oh my god, that's like so cool.
Yeah, that's just
But like
weird. I
everywhere
mean, even in the
else,
60s and 70s, because they were so
70s.
high, they just,
It's like,
whatever.
man, like, oh my god, do you like paint your face? Oh, that's cool. But no, I agree with you. But like or in earlier times, I'm like, they just are
Like
like
in
the
the Civil
dancer.
War, she's just showing up in the middle, like
She
you
was a
wouldn't be
dancer
freaked out.
she was a dancer in the '20s, and I'm like, nobody has a problem here.
No, dancer. She was a rock star, musician. Like
But again, the musician piece, it's like a gimmick, so you can kind of get away with it.
I can see that. I mean, her group just had no issues with it. Even like,
No, I know because they had to have known. But I'm like, yeah, whatever. But it was so good. It was so good, and then Frankenstein just stood out everywhere,
yeah, he was a monster everywhere he went.
and he's huge too.
Yeah. I
Like,
just I love every time he showed up. He had the dumb love face. It's like,
my God. And she's
that
just
just
like
like
kick him in the face.
no, it's just like the stereotypical like man of not getting a hint.
Yeah,
just
but
makes me think of the cartoons, Tom and Jerry cartoons, that are like Looney Tunes, and that's like what was it? The Cat and the Skunk.
Mike, the controversial Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Been
yeah.
canceled. He's been canceled now.
I mean, that's not allowed nowadays.
No, I mean valid. But I'm just saying, like, but no, I agree with you. Like, he's giving me that kind of vibe because he legitimately thinks this woman loves him, and this woman could not make it any clearer.
No, could not. What
I
like
mean,
whatsoever.
I saw a minimum of 150 years of her being very clear of
Yeah.
her not wanting him.
Even when she was born, she was terrified of him.
Yeah,
Like,
and also,
oh, very important fact. The reason why they went back in the episode, they went back to the temple
'cause she
was
wanted-
because she wanted the amulet that Dr. Frankenstein had given her.
yes,
Which is kind of, I want to know, like,
why she didn't get it earlier.
I'm like, what's that?
I'm wondering why she didn't get it earlier.
I mean, she was running away from a burning castle. Oh, you're like, why she didn't return earlier?
Well, yeah, because it's been like we saw that she wasn't in jail all that time.
Yeah. I think probably like she might have not had the means to get there.
Or she was afraid that Frankenstein would be there.
Or that, yeah. But I definitely where was I going with this? The amulet, she wanted the amulet back. Whatever. I forget.
No, because it was a show of sign that she cared about something. And that
Yeah. Oh no, that's what I was gonna say. I wanted to. I'm curious how she got from how she was at the very beginning to being like cold, and how she is in where she is in the current time. Because
well, we also don't know if that wasn't an immediate thing because we saw a lot of years.
no, I know. Like I'm curious if they'll show like how her character evolved over time, like legitimately, like how her personality changed.
I feel like we're gonna see a little bit of that, especially when Frankenstein gets involved.
Yeah. Because I mean, obviously, like she obviously creates cliques because she wouldn't be able to stay where she is if she didn't make an impression on people and have people like her.
Okay.
But by the time she got into Project M, clearly she's not happy. And whether that's because she just knows what the group that she's in is bad people and she doesn't want to be a part of it, or that's just now who she is.
But I'm also curious of why she's in there to begin with, because that's also a huge factor too.
I mean, why is Nina in there? Because I mean, she clearly doesn't seem like a bad person off the first 2 episodes.
I know, but they're in prison, so they had to have, you know what I mean?
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like she seems like a very quiet, innocent person.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things you can get in trouble for. I mean, you could get blamed for a lot of things that you didn't do, and if they know you didn't do it, they're going to use it to their advantage anyway.
All right,
Because it's Amanda Waller, let's be honest.
that's fair. I mean, we're talking about the U.S. justice system, so yeah.
And specifically Amanda Waller, which is like the worst of the worst.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
And I just love her talking bad about her daughter, which is hilarious.
I mean, she screwed her over, so
But like, still didn't say it in such a bad way either. So it's like I think
she. So here's the thing: like, she's pissed at her for screwing her over, but she still has
also
respect for
surprised.
her because
She
because she like at the end of the day, that's what she would do.
no, absolutely. And so yeah, well, anyway, that is Creature Commandos. I'm looking forward to the next couple, the rest of the series. But Mike, let's talk about your character spotlight that apparently has to do with Creature Commandos.
Yep, my character spotlight this week technically is characters. I want to talk to you about the Sons of Themyscira.
So the group.
So obviously, the Sons of Themyscira are Amazonians. So they are the sons born to the Amazons. That so basically what happens is they would raid ships that were cruising close to their island. They would raid them. They would have sex with the crew of the ships, get pregnant, purposely get pregnant. After they planted their seed, they would kill the crew, toss them overboard, and then go back to their island. Wait, not. I'm assuming it takes 9 months to have babies similar. So I'm just going to make that assumption.
Okay,
They wait 9 months, see what pops out. If it's a girl, wonderful. The world is the world is right. Everything is the way it's supposed to be. They train the girl to become an Amazon, and that's fine. If it's a boy, they kill him.
Oh, I thought they dump them.
Well, they dump him into the sea.
Yeah.
Which is essentially killing him. But
Hence the butt.
so, what happened after some time of this going on? The god Hephaestus, 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 Hephaestus. Thank you.
The god
Yes,
Forge.
the forger. He takes compassion on the boys and makes a deal with Queen. I forget her name. The Queen of the Amazons.
I was literally just gonna say Queen Amidala just to be a jerk.
So they make a deal that whenever there's a boy that's born, instead of killing him, he takes him in, and they become forgers. So for years, millennia, whatever, however you want to say it, the girls become warriors, the boys become forgers. The boys forge weapons for the Amazons. All of their attire, all of their equipment come from their brothers. Well, down the road, what happens is Diana learns about what has been going on, and she feels bad that the sons of the sons of Themyscira are not being a part of this paradise. So she tries to bring them closer into Themyscira, like integrate them a little bit more, because give them a right to enjoy their home. Another Amazon finds out about this, and her name, I believe, if I remember correctly, it is Donna Troy.
Oh.
She disagrees with this, and she is fighting Wonder Woman left and right about doing this kind of thing. She wants Themyscira to remain a woman paradise. Eventually, the sons of Themyscira begin integrating into Themyscira itself. They get their own small little village where they can continue forging, live their own life, whatever. Well, there's one point where Diana ends up leaving to go do Justice League, things,
Yeah.
and the Amazons that are against integrating the women and the women go to the village, purge it, kill all of the sons of Themyscira. Um, After that, Diana comes back. Um, by the time, so basically what happens is in the middle of the night while Diana's gone, the anti-integration part of the Amazons go invade the village, set it afire, whatever. But at that point, because it was in the dead of night, the rest of the Amazons that were siding with that Wonder Woman realized it too late. They couldn't do anything about it. When they come back, Wonder Woman comes back, sees what happened. She gives the men a proper burial and uh, arrests the Amazons that
We're behind it.
purged the men. After that, the relation then becomes rocky again. The sons of Themyscira leave the island. They continue with the working relationship, but they now have no contact with the women of Themyscira. It ends up going back. Apparently, Wonder Woman has a twin brother, and his name is Jason, and he is one of the sons of Themyscira. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, I don't need. I don't really. I can talk about that maybe later if they end up. Who knows? Maybe we could see him in DCU. But yeah, I thought I'd give a little bit of backstory. The Sons of Themyscira is a legit group.
Yes, but these ones are different than the ones you were talking about.
They are very different.
No, I just want to make that clear because it's like I get what you're saying, and I did not know that, but that's actually really kind of cool.
If you want, so they have a little excerpt from what we have in the DCU so far. The Sons of Themyscira are a terrorist militia formed by men dissatisfied with the ban on male presence on Themyscira, the paradise island of the Amazons. They consider it sexist that they are not allowed to set foot on the warrior women land. They follow Circe, who claims to be the rightful heir of Themyscira, and promises that if they help her take Themyscira, then she'll allow them to do whatever they want with it.
So here's my question: do you know what Circe does to men?
Doesn't she make them like slaves?
Yeah, but worse than that. She's gonna in the in Greek mythology, and I think they also do it in the DC comics because they keep her very much similar
But
to
yeah,
the. She turns them into animal humanoids for her army.
I forgot about that. But obviously they don't know that. They just want to go. Obviously these are not legitimate sons
But
of Themyscira. They're
no, but
just
there are
dudes.
but Cersei just does it to men in general.
No, yeah.
So like my whole thing is it's like she's using men because they're easier to manipulate than women. That's why
One
she
hundred
does it.
percent.
And so like that's her big shtick anyway because a beautiful woman they're gonna do whatever she says.
Yep, 100%. This is very much a this is very much like a real world scenario where it's like, oh, men are mad that they can't do something that a woman's allowed to do that woman has, it's
And they're like,
sexist.
I want it all.
Yep.
I get it. I want to explode it. But anyway, that is pretty much it. I like it. This one went really well. So next week we're going to be talking about Craven the Hunter, episode 3 of
Hopefully.
Skeleton Crew.
We
I hope
last night so like last night we were trying to look at movie times and
there's not
apparently
many.
they are already planning for this movie to flop, so they are not showing very many showings.
Yeah, so we're gonna see what happens there, but we're gonna really try our best, obviously. So
Yep.
Craven the Hunter, the third episode of Skeleton Crew, and the third episode of Creature Commandos, and then a character spotlight for me. So we're gonna get right into it. So for now, if you've made it this far into the video, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. Other than that, this is gonna be Scott and Mike signing out. Have a wonderful night. Bye bye.